Story time. Hello, my name is Jovan, and I just want to start off by saying thank you. Welcome to my channel. I just want to share a couple stories with you, just some things I've been through in life, some fun, some crazy stories, just stuff that maybe some people can relate to, and if there's a good takeaway from it, more power to you. So let's get into it. This story is about skydiving when I was 22. So when I was 22, I was diagnosed with stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and that's a form of blood cancer. So this isn't a story about cancer. We can get into that a different day. And this is more about, I guess, the response to being told that I had cancer. So I was 22, and took a while for the doctors to figure out what was wrong with me, and then they finally realized that it was cancer. So the doctors had me see a specialist. They had me see an oncologist. That's a doctor that treats cancer patients. You know, they specialize in oncology, which is the medical practice of cancer treatment, right? So the way this breaks down was they told me on a Tuesday, like it was a Tuesday officially in 2007, in the spring of 2007, they said, "Hey, Mr. Rodriguez, you have cancer." Whatever, right? Cheers to my fellow survivors and those that didn't make it. So I go skydiving. We head over to this place in Paris, California, and we go skydive, and we take the program for the accelerated freefall to do a solo jump course. So we do the training and the required classroom stuff for the first jump, and we're all ready to go do our practice run on the ground, and you get some basic instruction for what you need to know while you jump. So the way they had us sequence to jump, we went in a few groups, and I went in my brother's group, and he jumped before I did. He physically left the plane like a minute before I did, you know? So I get up, shuffle over to the door, crouch down, they give you your little hand signal communication, you do like this countdown, they practice, you know, you gotta have your clearance, all this stuff, right? Stuff you had worked through earlier in the day during your training. So I I step out of the plane, and I begin to free fall. And if you know anything about falling, there's this thing called terminal velocity when you're in absolute free fall. Terminal velocity means you're falling, you can't fall any faster naturally. That's your natural fall rate based off gravity pulling you towards Earth. And it takes like 3 seconds, 4 seconds to reach terminal velocity. And I remember jumping and having a moment, because they tell you to count to 4. And I got to like 2 in my head. So I'm free falling, and I'm starting to count 1, 2, and for like a split second I froze. I got scared, like, oh, I'm falling. And then it clicked in my head the reason why I was jumping out of the plane. This is a Sunday. They told me on a Tuesday that I had cancer. So 5 days of like this weird unknown. Am I gonna live? Am I gonna live to see 30? Like what's really going on here? So in those like first 2 seconds, I had all these thoughts in my head. in an extremely fast order. And while I'm still counting in my head, I'm not even at 3 yet. In that whole second, I'm analyzing everything. Oh, I don't understand how I did this. I had like a conversation with myself in that second. And while I'm in that moment, I said to myself, you didn't come out here to get scared. They already scared you. They told you you might die. They told you you're like 50-50. You might die. It's 50-50. So there was no other option. Like at that point, like everything's already set. Stuff's already going down. I don't have a choice. And I were counting to 3. So I get to 3. I get to 3 in my head, and I relax. I start to have fun. I just let go. And just fell. Relaxed. To arch back, lean back, got in position. And then like that rush you have in your stomach, that sensation when you drop off of something or you hit a bump too fast, it went away. And I was in weightlessness through the fall at terminal velocity. And I can't explain it, but there was like this happiness. You know, it was the adrenaline. It was the adrenaline. The adrenaline was kicking in, and it was that flight or fight. Fight, flight, or freeze. Because it's fight, flight, or freeze. And in my head, it's fight. We fight. Whatever we do here, we fight. We go. We fight. Cancer, everything. We fight. We go forward. So I continue with the free fall. And mind you, this is still like training. This fall is training. So during your fall, they're communicating with you for hand signals. They want to see if you can do certain maneuvers. They want you to practice and grab your parachute, like if you're going to pull the chute to release. They want you to check for your rings, for your safety release, that sort of thing, right? So I went through all that, and then they tell you that it's time to pull, and then, you know, they help you reach your cord so you can pull the chute out. So time comes to pull the chute. I pull the chute, and right before you pull, the instructors fly away from you because they're flying next to you. They're holding on to you as you're falling down through the sky. So they let go, and they went away from me. I pulled the chute. My chute opens, but it only opens halfway. It's tangled. It's twisted up. It's got a really bad twist in the line, like 3 or 4 twists. So I'm essentially still falling with like a rope, corded rope, braided thing above me with partial parachute like 2 feet wide. So it's really bad. So I'm falling, and I look up, because you're supposed to look up and you're supposed to look for this shape, and you're supposed to be floating. You know, there's like these things they tell you to look for. I can still remember. It's a shape, sail, float. It's a line. Your lines, your shape, you're sailing, like you're floating, right? All these things. And I'm falling. So they tell you, like, if you have an emergency and you have to cut away, you basically have to try and pulling the lines apart and essentially twisting and kicking as hard as you can. In essence, you're pulling your body out of the sky and forcing the ropes apart on some level. And I tried, it didn't work. I tried it for a few seconds. Then I looked and I grabbed for my silver ring, because it's look silver, grab silver, look red, pull red. That's the procedure. And so I remember I touched silver, and in my head I was like, I'm gonna try this chute thing one more time. So I pulled the lines, and I remember just thinking, this is as hard as I can pull and twist. And I pulled and twisted as hard as I could. And then poof, the parachute kicked open, and I was under the canopy, and I was flying down. I was sailing down, and you have radios in your ears. You have two radios. You have a backup and a regular radio, right? And instantly, I hear the guys on the ground, the instructors calling on the radio, um, telling me like, "Hey, if you're okay, turn to the left. If you're okay, like turn to the right." So they had me do these few maneuvers, and at that point, I can hear in the radio that they're telling me that I'm okay, and we're just gonna continue from there. We're gonna bring it in. We gotta land, right? So it's time to land, and they're giving me instructions: make a left turn, make a right turn, line up here. I go to land. I do my flare maneuver, and I touch down, and I walk onto the ground really nicely, and it's really smooth transition from the parachute to the ground for me on my first jump. I'm lucky. I got lucky, right? So I'm having this moment of like, oh shit, like I didn't die, but I still might die. I'm having this weird mind fuck moment on the ground after landing, after thinking about cancer, after free falling, having a parachute malfunction, and not knowing what the hell is going to happen to me in life. And so when I did that, I should have paid attention. I should have paid attention a little better. The parachute filled back up with a little bit of air, and the air took my chute, and then I went for a little ride on the ground. I went for a little ride in the dirt. I got dragged. There's a bug on me, and I got dragged in the dirt, face first in the dirt. So I had another reality check right there. Getting dragged in the dirt. So I get up and I pick myself up off the ground, and I'm spitting dirt and crap out of my mouth. And I'm enjoying being alive, right? And I look up, and I see a couple other parachutes coming down. I'm like, oh, here's everybody else coming down from the sky, right? Here they come. Here, let's look up. You know who was that first parachute coming down, still above me in the air? It was my brother. My brother was still in the air. While my parachute was tangled and I was falling, I had passed my brother on the way down in freefall descent. And I had landed with my main chute and was already on the ground, got dragged, was contemplating life and how bad things were. And this dude's still flying down. So my brother lands, and it was awesome. We go, I don't know, like high five, and we're just doing the fuck yeah, you know. And we get our celebration in, and we head over to the bar afterwards. Ordered me a double shot of whiskey. Had me a drink, had a nice toast, had a good moment at drinking my brother. And just decided, like, hey, going forward, like, it's game on. It's game on. Can't control a lot of things. Only thing I can control is how I respond. And I've been fortunate, made it this far. It's been about 14, 15 years, so I'm very thankful. I enjoy the days, and I know they're limited. I'm very, very, very thankful and appreciative of all the days and all the opportunities I have in life. So, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, jumping out of a plane and your parachute doesn't open, and then you get dragged, all while being told you have cancer. We don't know what the full diagnosis is, but you got to have some kind of surgery. And hey, but hang in there. Yeah, at 22, that's definitely that's a heavy one, you know. But in hindsight, overall, it was a really good experience. I had a good medical team. I had a good support team. I had good people around me. Some of those people aren't around anymore because life changes, people change, people move on. So that's okay. I'm appreciative of all those people that were around when they were around. But But yeah, that's my skydive story. It was skydiving because of cancer, so good times. Um, if you ever think about skydiving, make sure you have a good instructor. Go to a good school. Go with somebody you like too. Go with your friends. Go with like family that you're really cool with. Cause that's like a life and death experience. So you want to be there with somebody that you're okay with being on the edge, you know, riding that edge and jumping out of a plane with. That's somebody who you know you want to have your back. They're gonna jump out of a plane with you, you know they got your back. So thanks for listening to my story. Um, Make sure you like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, hit that button down there, hit that thumbs up, and cheers. Till next time, enjoy yourself, be safe, take care.